5, so we will give them 7 and 5. There we go. Create a Bootstrap headline. Now let's build something from scratch to practice our HTML, CSS and Bootstrap skills. We'll build a jQuery playground, which we'll soon put to use in our jQuery challenges. To start, create an H3 element with the text jQuery playground. Okay. jQuery playground. Do I need like text primary or stuff? Yeah. Class text primary. Okay. It should also be centered using text center. Like that. There we are. How's our page within a Bootstrap container fluid div? Now let's make sure all the content on your page is mobile responsive. So div class container fluid. Indent U. Is that good? There we are. Create a Bootstrap row. Now we'll create a Bootstrap row for our inline elements. Create a div element below the h3 tag with a class of row. Okay. Row. And then okay, there you go. Split your Bootstrap row. Now that we have a Bootstrap row, let's split it into 2 columns to house our elements. Create 2 div elements within your row, both with a class column extra small 6. Okay. And just copy that. There you go. Create Bootstrap wells. Bootstrap has a class called well that can create a visual sense of depth for your columns. What? Nest one div element with the class well within each of your column extra small 6 div elements. Really? Is that just gonna add like a box shadow or something? Guess we'll find out. Well, well, well. Would you look at that? The one for each one, you say? Add elements within your Bootstrap wells. Now we're several div elements deep on each column of our row. This is as deep as we'll go. Now we can add our button elements. Nest 3 button elements within each of your well div elements. Okay. What, like BTN, BTN primary? Do we style them? Do we not style them? It doesn't say, so I guess we're not going to worry about that. We're literally just going to create 3 buttons. They didn't tell us what we should do. Though, you know what? We've been learning about Bootstrap, so I'm just going to go ahead and give it a class of BTN. At the very least, we're not going to be savages. There we go. And then copy this and stick it there. How's that look? Good? Cool. Run the tests. Apply the default Bootstrap button style. Oh my we didn't have to do it, they removed it. Fine. BTN, BTN, default. There you go. And done. Create a class to target with jQuery selectors. What? Not every class needs to have corresponding CSS. Sometimes we create classes just for the purpose of selecting these elements more easily using jQuery. Give each of your button elements a class target. Ooh, that's bad. What is target? So apply the target class to each of your button elements. Okay. Target. There we go. Add ID attributes to Bootstrap elements. Recall that in addition to class attributes, you can give each of your elements an ID attribute. Each ID must be unique to a specific element and used only once per page. Let's give a unique ID to each of our div elements of class well. Remember that you can give an element an ID like this, ID equal to, and whatever the ID name is. Give the well on the left the ID of left well, give the well on the right the ID of right well. Okay. ID left well. ID right well. I would say well left and well right, because then at least you can, you know, find them easily. Now label Bootstrap wells. For the sake of clarity, let's label both of our wells with their IDs. Above your left well, inside of its column extra small 6 div element, add a h4 element with the text #left wall. Inside its column 6. Above it? Above, yeah. Okay. h4 class? No class, just h4. Left well. Like that. And this one becomes right well. Give each element a unique ID. Give each of your buttons a unique ID, starting with target 1 and ending with target 6. Make sure that target 1 to target 3 are in left well and target 4 to target 6 are in right well. Okay, an ID this time, not a class, huh? Okay. So what was the point of giving them a class if you're going to give them an ID? You wouldn't use both. Unless you want to loop through all buttons that have the class target. So this is going to be target 1. Okay, so let's do this. Let's do this. Target 2, target 3, target 4, target 5, and target 6. Great stuff. Just like we labeled our wells, we want to label our buttons. Oh dear. Give each of your button elements text that corresponds to its ID selector. Target 1, target 2, target 3, target 4, target 5, target 6. Okay. Use comments to clarify code. When we start using jQuery, we will modify HTML elements without needing to actually change them in HTML. Let's make sure that everyone knows they shouldn't actually modify any of this code directly. Remember that you can start a comment and end a comment with these two opening and closing tags. Add a comment at the top of your HTML that says only change code above this line. Okay, so only change code above this line. There you go. Okay, so that's that. So we did it! And we have an introduction to jQuery. jQuery is one of the many libraries for JavaScript. It is designed to simplify scripting done on the client side. jQuery's most recognizable characteristic is its $sign syntax. With it, you can easily manipulate elements, create animations, and handle input events. Technically, you can use the $syntax in pure JavaScript as well. It's not reserved. So it's not just jQuery that can use it. It just makes it really easy because then you know what the target is. You set that usually to an element and then you work on that element. So instead of giving it some really long name like this is my element, you just give it the $sign. Let's go to the first lesson. Hey, we're back to our jQuery playground, which we created earlier. Learn how script tags and document ready work. Now we're ready to learn jQuery, the most popular JavaScript tool of all time. Before we can start using jQuery, we need to add some things to our HTML. First, add a script element at the top of your page. Be sure to close it on the following line. Your browser will run any JavaScript inside a script element, including jQuery. Inside your script element, add this code, document.ready function. So once the document is loaded, it's going to call the function ready. Then close it on the following line. We'll learn more about functions later. The important thing to know is that the code you put inside this function will run as soon as your browser has loaded your page. Have they just assumed that we've completely skipped the entire JavaScript section? We'll learn more about functions later. Oh, okay. That's great. This is important because without your document ready function, your code may run before your HTML is rendered, which could cause bugs. Also, they didn't specify where you should put the script tag. You generally want it at the end of your body tag, which we don't have. And they want us to add it at the top. I mean, I guess that's where you have body on load, but yeah, okay. So we're gonna have a script. And we're going to have this inside of it. So this on the following line. And then close our script. Okay. Target HTML elements selectors using jQuery. Now we have a document ready function. Now let's write our first jQuery statement. All jQuery functions start with a $sign or bling. jQuery often selects an HTML element with a selector, then does something to that element. For example, let's make all of your button elements bounce. Just add this code inside your document ready function. Okay, so we stick this in. Whoa, did you see that? Every time that the page loads, or the page is ready, the buttons are gonna bounce! That's cool. Note that we've already included both the jQuery library and the animate.css library in the background so that you can use them in the editor. So you're using jQuery to apply the animate.css bounce class to your button elements. That's cool. Okay, let's move on. Target elements by class using jQuery. You see how we made all of your button elements bounce? We selected them with button. Then we added some CSS classes to them with add class animate bounce. You just use jQuery's add class function, which allows you to add classes to elements. First, let's target your div elements with the class well by using the .well selector. Note that just like with CSS declarations, you type a dot before the class's name. Then use jQuery's add class function to add the classes animated and shake. For example, you could make all the elements with the class textPrimary shake by adding the following to your document-ready function: textPrimary.addClassAnimateShake. So what do you want us to do? Target your divs element with the class well by using Alright, and then you want me to add class and add animated and shake. Oopsie. There we are. Oh! They went mad! Oh, good stuff. I like how playful this is. Target elements by ID using jQuery. You can also target elements by... yeah, we've got that. First, target your button element with the ID target3 by using the target3 selector. Right. And then... note that just like with CSS declarations, you type a hashtag before the ID's name. Then use jQuery's.addClass function to add the classes animated and fade out. I really thought it was going to add the quotes for me. I'm so used to that on VS. Oh no, it's faded! It's gone. We're never going to see it again. Here's how you make the button element with the ID target6 fade out. Yeah, we've done that already. There we are. Great stuff. Now, delete your jQuery functions. These animations were cool at first, but now they're getting kind of distracting. Delete all 3 of these jQuery functions from your document-ready function, but leave your document-ready function itself intact. Okay, there you go. Got it? Good. Cool stuff. Target the same element with multiple jQuery selectors. Now you know 3 ways of targeting elements by type. Button, or by class.btn, or by ID, hashtag target1. Although it is possible to add multiple classes in a single add class call, let's add them to the same element in 3 separate ways. Using add class, add only one class at a time to the same element 3 different ways. Add the animated class to all elements with type button. Add the shake class to all the buttons with class btn. Add the primary class to the button with ID target. Okay, so so anything that is button, we want to add class animated. Add the animated class to all buttons with type button. Okay, we've done that. Then with class btn, we're gonna add class, was it shake? Yeah. Then we're gonna do so for target 1, we're gonna add class btn primary. Look at that. Cool. Remove classes from an element with jQuery. In the same way you can add classes to an element with jQuery's add class function, you can remove them with jQuery's remove class function. Here's how you would do this for a specific button. Let's remove the btn default class from all of our button elements. Okay, so to do that we have to target button dot remove class btn default. No, now they all look horrible. Change the CSS of an element using jQuery. We can also change the CSS of an HTML element directly with jQuery. jQuery has a function called .css that allows you to change the CSS of an element. Here's how we would change its color to blue. .css, color, and then the value. This is slightly different from a normal CSS declaration because the CSS property and its values are in quotes and separated with a comma instead of a colon. Delete your jQuery selectors, leaving an empty document ready function. Select target 1 and change its color to red. Okay. Target 1, okay. Color red. There you go. Disable an element using jQuery. You can also change the non-CSS properties of HTML elements with jQuery. For example, you can disable buttons. When you disable a button, it will become grayed out and can no longer be clicked. jQuery has a function called .prop that allows you to adjust the properties of elements. Here's how you would disable all buttons. Button.prop disable true. Disable only target 1 button. Okay, so it's like a property. So we're disabling the button we changed to red. Prop disabled true. Oh, look at that. So it even applies the CSS stuff for like adding the you cannot do this, whatever you call that. That's really cool. And then changes color and like removes all of its stuff. That's cool. Change text inside an element using jQuery. Using jQuery, you can change the text between the start and end tags of an element. You can even change the HTML markup. You know what's strange though that I find is, it sucks that they never taught us this about JavaScript. Like from what I can remember, we never worked with things like this, like get element by ID and inner HTML and inner text and all that. We did a lot of like functions of solving things, a lot of math. Now that I think about it, it's like a lot of math. It's like they left everything for jQuery, which really sucks. Because I did everything in pure JavaScript and I had to go and figure that stuff out and Google it. And it would have been really great to learn more about that, you know, instead of leveraging everything on jQuery. Because, you know, what if you don't want to use a library like that due to whatever namespaces or reserved stuff or, you know, whatever the case may be. But anyway, jQuery has a function called .html that lets you add HTML tags and text within an element. Any content previously within the element will be completely replaced with the content you provide using this function. Here's how you would rewrite and emphasize the text of our heading. jQuery also has a similar function called .text that only alters text without adding tags. So it's like inner HTML and inner text basically. In other words, this function will not evaluate any HTML tags passed into it, but will instead treat it as the text you want to replace the existing content with. Change the button with ID target 4 by emphasizing its text. Okay. What is the button called again? Target 4. HTML, emphasize so if I said target 6 instead, or 5, yeah, that would change its number. Check this link to know more on the differences between I and M and their uses. Note that while the I tag has traditionally been used to emphasize text, it has since been co-opted for use as a tag for icons. The M tag is now widely accepted as a tag for emphasis. Either will work for this challenge. Kind of like B in strong, isn't it? Strong is used for creating text to be bold now instead of B. Make sure the text is otherwise changed. Oh. How do we keep the original text then? I didn't change it. I left it as target 4. Am I not allowed to do that? Is that the issue? What? I had it like that. Maybe I didn't. I don't know. Remove an element using jQuery. Now let's remove an HTML element from your page using jQuery. jQuery has a function called .remove that will remove an HTML element entirely. Remove element target 4. Poor element 4. It's just like keeps getting targeted from the page by using .remove. Sorry, target 4. Like test targets. Remove. Get out of here. That's cold. There we go. Use Append to move elements with jQuery. Now let's try moving elements from one div to another. jQuery has a function called Append to that allows you to select HTML elements and append them to another element. For example, if we wanted to move target 4 from our right well to our left well, we would use target4.append to left well. Move your target 2 element from left well to right well. Okay, well I'm going to take the code that you've graciously given us and I'm going to take it from target 2 and make it go to the right well. Oh, that's nice. Clone an element using jQuery. In addition to moving elements, you can also copy them from one place to another. jQuery has a function called clone that makes a copy of an element. For example, if we wanted to copy target 2 from our left well to our right well, we would use target2.clone append to right well. Did you notice this involves sticking two jQuery functions together? This is called function chaining, and it's a convenient way to get things done with jQuery. Clone your target 5 element and append it to your left well. Okay. 5 left well dot clone dot append to left well. Wow. So without it, with it. That's so cool. So just made a copy and stuck it there. Sweet. Target the parent of an element using jQuery. Every HTML element has a parent element from which it inherits properties. For example, your jQuery Playground H3 element has the parent element of div class container fluid, which itself has the parent body. jQuery has a function called parent that allows you to access the parent of whichever element you've selected. Here's an example of how you would use the parent function if you wanted to give the parent element on the left well a background color of blue. leftwell.parent.css background color blue. Give the parent of the target 1 element a background color of red. So target 1 dot parent dot css background color red. Wow. Okay. Target the children of an element using jQuery. When HTML elements are placed one level below another, they are called children of that element. For example, the button elements in this challenge with the text target 1, 2, 3 are all children of the div class WHEREID leftWhere element. jQuery has a function called children that allows you to access the children of whichever element you've selected. Here's an example of how you would use the children function to give the children of your leftWhere element the color blue. Give all the children of your rightWhere element the color orange. Don't mind if I do. So right well, and we're gonna make them orange. Target. Did you notice something? Yeah, like there's that brief moment where you could see what's going on. 4, 5. There was a 4 there. And it was there, and it's like so there's a bit of a delay. You can see it like briefly. Where's your body? Where'd the body go? There's no body anymore. Ah, thought changing the place of the script would change things. You've seen why ID attributes are so convenient for targeting with jQuery selectors, but you won't always have such neat IDs to work with. Fortunately, jQuery has some other tricks for targeting the right elements. jQuery uses CSS selectors to target elements. The target nth child n CSS selector allows you to select all the nth elements with the target class or element type. Here's how you would give the third element in each well the bounds class. Target nth child 3.add class animated bounds. Make the second child in each of your WoW elements bounce. You must select the element's children with the target class. Okay. There you go. Target even elements using jQuery. You can also target elements based on their positions using odd or even. Oh, that's cool if you want to have like alternating backgrounds or stuff. Note that jQuery is 0 index, which means the first element in a selection has a position of 0. This can be a little confusing as counterintuitively odd selects the second element, position 1, fourth element, position 3, and so on. Here's how you target all the odd elements with class target and give them classes. .target odd, .add class animated shake. Try selecting all the even target elements and giving them the classes of animated shake. So I will take this and I will say even. Whoopsie. Cool. Use jQuery to modify the entire page. We're done playing with our jQuery playground. Let's tear it down. Wow. jQuery can target the body element as well. Here's how we would make the entire body fade out. Body.addClass animated fade out. But let's do something more dramatic. Add the classes animated and hinge to your body element. Bye! Oh, that was cool! Whoever did this was just like waiting for that, huh? Bye! That was cool. Wow. And we're done. And perfectly timed as well. That's my hour. In that hour we managed to cover Bootstrap and jQuery, at least the basics of them. Next up is going to be Sass, but that's going to have to be for another time. Most likely tomorrow. But this was fun so far. Yeah, jQuery, interesting. I'll have to see where I leverage it to have an entire library if it's needed. Then why not? Bootstrap as well. I'll have to see. Because I had a lot of fun like building my own kind of mini framework to work with. It just means you get the best experience when you know how to do it versus just, you know, using something that's already built for you. But yeah, because I mean jQuery is fun and all, but if you're going to use a tool that makes things easier for you and you didn't go through the struggle of trying to figure out how you would have done it without jQuery, you're not really going to learn. You're just, you know, going to apply a quick fix and that's it. There's nothing more to it. Whereas if you really want that true in-depth knowledge, you need to understand how it works. So that's my plan. I want to understand how things work. And once I understand how they work, then, you know, I can obviously switch to jQuery or something. Because then, you know, why have countless loops or whatever to emulate the same functionality that you can use, you know, in a single function call. But yeah, I think I'm still a slightly way off from that. But yeah, projects are coming up soon. What do we have to do after this? Because that was surprisingly fast. I thought there would have been more on Bootstrap and jQuery. So it's kind of like a very quick introductory course. So that was Bootstrap, that was jQuery. We got Sass. React I think is going to be... that's gonna... Yeah, okay. So the majority of this falls under React. We got Redux and React and Redux. And then your projects. Nice. Nice. Cool. Okay. So then, until then, I'll see you guys on the next stream. Bye for now.